It's a bowl of confusion between Aston Martin and Lance Stroll. Many believe he is destroying rather than transforming Aston Martin into a force to be reckoned with. Aston Martin, on the other hand, believes it has been made already and is on a path to becoming the next Red Bull. Truth or lies? Let's find out. Mike Crack has praised Lawrence Stroll for his patience in transforming Aston Martin into World Championship contenders. Aston Martin was launched in early 2021, transformed from pink to British racing green by team owner Stroll, with grand claims that titles were the goal shortly. Despite an intensive recruitment effort aimed at some of the sport's biggest names in creating a cutting-edge new facility at Silverstone, Aston Martin has only gone backward. They finished 7th last year and are down to 9th this season, with 6 races remaining in the Constructors' Championship, where they would have finished 3rd but for a points penalty. Meanwhile, there are many questions surrounding Aston Martin, which is currently experiencing significant growing pains. Sebastian Vettel has had enough, not only of the team, but of F1 in general, and will retire at the end of the year, with Fernando Alonso taking his position alongside team owner Lance Stroll. Crack is the Aston Martin team principal. Despite the dismal results recorded with the AMR22 vehicle, he insists, as he did in previous interviews, that the high-rolling Canadian tycoon who sponsors Aston Martin F1 is not pressing the thumbscrews. He has the right to be demanding because of the financial resources he's invested in this squad, but he's not putting us under too much pressure. Crack told the BBC. He, Stroll Sr., comes around once a week or so and wants to know what's going on, what the next steps are, why we performed the way we did, what we do next, and what our strategy is. And then he has other things to do after 2 hours. He doesn't come in and decide on every single item, not at all. It's reasonable to give your chairman an update at least once weekly. In between, there are phone calls, although they're more like catch-ups. Crack argued that success could not be attained overnight despite Aston Martin's resources and ambition. When you have a monetary influx, the typical thought is, we want to do more and more and more, the 50-year-old Luxembourger said. And sometimes the hardest part is saying stop. We wait with this and we focus exclusively on this point till we solve it. The tough part is not saying, yeah, we do it. There's a phrase that goes, I toss you 3 balls, how many will you catch? Almost certainly none. But if I toss 1, you'll almost certainly catch it. And here's the thing, focus on one issue at a time, then go on to the next. We must deliver on the improvements, and if you can show verifiable advancement at the end of year 4 or the middle of year 5, it's not necessary to have won 3, 2, or 10 races. Seeing the path, then changing along the way is critical. Regardless of Aston Martin's doubts, some believe they are the new Red Bull. Dan Fallows, technical director of Aston Martin F1, has compared his team's success to his former Red Bull outfit. Fallows left his position at Red Bull's head of aerodynamics last year to take on a new challenge as the head of Aston's design department, a job he began last spring at the Silverstone-based company. Fallows began his career as an engineer with the Jaguar team in the early 2000s and matured with the team after it was bought by Red Bull, converting itself into a prominent competitor in Formula 1 and finally a championship-winning squad. 6 months into his new job with Aston Martin, Fallows confesses to a sense of déjà vu, adding that his new team's continued progress and the spirit that drives it on is reminiscent of the early growth and passion he observed at Red Bull Racing. When the team developed from Jaguar, it was one of the most thrilling phases of the Red Bull experience, he noted in an interview published this week on the Aston Martin F1 website. Right at the organization's top, a tiny team with a very low budget suddenly received much more budget, resources, and technical strength. It was tremendously thrilling to watch the team development, to be a part of that growth, to be a part of the success, even to make errors along the way and learn from them. It's still early days for Fallows at Aston Martin, but the British engineer likes what he's seen and, more crucially, what he expects to offer to Lawrence Stroll's ambitious F1 team. It's been an incredible adventure so far, and I've only been here a few months, he remarked. The most noticeable aspect for me is that Aston Martin F1 still seems like a race team, with everyone supporting one another. When a team expands significantly in a short period, it can become unwieldy and departments fail to communicate effectively. But the lines of communication are very simple and clear here, and we must be careful not to lose them. The excellent caliber of individuals at Aston Martin F1 has impressed me, and the engineering skill is at the level it has to be. Amazing ideas, very good innovation. All that's been not quite there is a single clarity of purpose, and that's what I intend to bring. It's all about keeping an eye on what you're trying to do on the racetrack from the beginning of constructing the car. Leaving one of the most successful F1 teams in history for an up-and-coming club is risky. Fellows expressed the motive that prompted him to join Aston's initiative. "I needed a fresh challenge," he explained. "The most fulfilling occasions in my work have been when I'm confronted with a task and I've gone on to surpass that difficulty. It's not just the difficulty, it's also the chance to be a part of something that grows from humble to remarkable." Aston Martin F1 has a lot of ambition, starting with Lawrence Stroll at the top and working its way down the line. So being invited to join the team on its journey while having the resources I do is quite thrilling. When someone puts that much trust in you, it's like they're saying, "Here's a Formula One team, convert it into what you want, get the people you want, manage it as you want, make it successful, leave your imprint." If you stay in the same location and are successful, you'll keep doing the same thing, and that gets dull. Part of Aston Martin's F1 2022 problems stem from expanding too rapidly. Mike Krack believes that one of the reasons for Aston Martin's problems in 2022 was the team's rapid expansion. Aston Martin is presently 9th in the Constructors' Championship with only Williams ahead of them. Their score of 25 points is well short of owner Lawrence Stroll's declared ambition of winning world championships. According to a guy who switched sides this year, team principal Krack is comforted that Stroll's patience has been rewarded. The atmosphere surrounding the team is akin to when Red Bull was initially getting off the ground. However, the problems continue, and the team is unlikely to finish any higher than their present position. Meanwhile, Aston Martin introduced their B-Spec model ahead of the Spanish Grand Prix, and while it has resulted in gains, they have not been as significant as the team may have hoped. Krack indicated that getting the AMR22 up to speed has been a lengthy task. When Fernando Alonso joins the squad next year, Krack will have not one but two formidable guys expecting results. Aston Martin has been told that heads will roll if things do not go as planned. According to Aston Martin team leader Mike Krack, chairman Lawrence Stroll has the right to be demanding given the financial commitment he has made to the team. Lawrence Stroll has made significant investments in his Formula One team Aston Martin, which he purchased in 2019 from the struggling Vijay Mallya-owned Force India. He relaunched the team at Racing Point for 2019 and 2020 before renaming it Aston Martin as he continued to liberally spend on the team, creating a state-of-the-art new headquarters and employing one of the top F1 talents. However, the Canadian millionaire has yet to enjoy the benefits of his investment since Aston Martin has had a disappointing season in 2022, finishing 8th in the Constructors' Championship ahead of only Williams. Mike Krack told the BBC that Stroll was quite demanding and that his investments put pressure on the squad to produce. Krack, who formerly worked for Porsche and BMW, feels Stroll's goal is sound but that the team should focus on one issue at a time. Do you think Aston Martin's future is solid with Stroll and Krack at the wheel? Comment below.